The key distinction that we're trying to make when we refer to expressions is the distinction between an expression and the various kinds of sentences. The various kinds of mathematical sentences are all sequences of symbols that describe the relationship between two or more expressions. The key distinction between an expression and a sentence is that a sentence includes what in an English class we would call a verb. There are several verbs we're going to be concerned with in this class, and some of the most important are the symbol equals, which tells us that the two expressions on either side represent the same number. When the verb in the sentence is equals, the sentence is called an equation. A closely related verb is does not equal. When you see does not equal, well, that means the opposite of equals. It means these two expressions represent different numbers. And the last symbol we're going to mention right now is one that we've seen earlier. The curved equals signs, right, so they go up and then down and then up again, means about equals. What does this mean? This means, okay, these two expressions might not represent exactly the same number, but they're close enough that one can be used as an estimate for the other. The most likely time that we're going to use this symbol is when we've just done some calculations on a calculator and then rounded our result. We'll spend a lot more time talking about sentences later, but there's something I want to call your attention to about equals. When we write several expressions strung together with equals signs, we are claiming that all of those expressions are equal to one another. So let me give you an example. Let's say we wanted to add up a list of 3 numbers. Let's say we want to add up the list 2 plus 3 plus 4. The correct way to do this would be to say, well, I'm starting with 2 plus 3 plus 4. I add 2 plus 3 and get 5. Now I have 5 plus 4, which is 9. All 3 of these expressions are different ways of saying 9. Something I very commonly see is this. It's to say, we're adding 2 plus 3, that's 5, add in 4, and that's 9. Why is that wrong? Because that first expression is not equal to 9. We should write equal signs between expressions that we're claiming are equal to one another, and between expressions that we are not claiming are equal to one another, we should not write the equals sign. If we wanted to not copy the 4 over and over again, which could be legitimate if 4 were some more complicated thing, we could say 2 plus 3 equals 5, and then without an equals sign, say 5 plus 4 equals 9. This is okay. The key point is that you're not adding in this extra equals sign that says 2 plus 3 is equal to all of those other expressions that equal 9. Now, the thing I commonly hear about this is, oh, but you know what I mean. That's not the point. The point is that mathematics is a language, and one of your goals in math class is to learn that language. You would never say to your French teacher, who had just corrected your grammar, oh, but you knew what I meant, because your goal in French class is to learn to speak French correctly. Similarly, your goal in math class is to learn to use mathematical symbols correctly. On a related note, it's important to know the difference between expressions and equations, because when you're asked for an equation but only give an expression, or when you're asked for an expression but only give an equation, it looks something like this. Suppose Alice and Bob meet at a party, and Alice says, "What's your name?" She's looking for a symbol that represents Bob. She's looking for Bob's name. Now suppose Bob replies with, "Bob is very tall." Now that is a true statement. Look, Bob is quite tall. And it includes his name. But would you say that what Bob said is an appropriate answer to Alice's question? She might even be able to work out what his name is. But I don't think he's answered her appropriately. If we were Bob's How to Have Conversations at Parties teacher, we would be aware that Bob knew his name, and we would know that Bob knew that Alice had asked him a question. But we wouldn't think that Bob understood the question, or really knew how to answer it. Similarly, if you're asked for a sentence, but give an expression, or if you're asked for an expression, but give a sentence, it seems very clear that you didn't understand what the question was asking.